Hello everyone, my name is Pavel and this is Terror Russia. I have started this channel to fight against the ongoing disinformation campaign of the Kremlin. My aim is to show as many people as possible how brutal, criminal and inhumane the Kremlin regime really is, and that they are in fact a state sponsor of terrorism. Since I don't have a problem with starting conversations with people who I don't know, I have decided to buy myself a GoPro and a drone and to go on a solo trip to Ukraine to interview people who have lived under Russian occupation. The destruction I have witnessed left me speechless, and the conversations I have had with the locals made me realize the true horrors that the Ukrainians had to go through due to the Russian aggression. However, these conversations have also made me realize how welcoming, optimistic, and strong the Ukrainian people really are, and how important it is for them to live in a free, democratic, lawful, and prospering country that is free of Russian influence. It became clear to me that the Ukrainians are ready to fight so that Ukraine can be free of everything the Kremlin regime stands for, which is corruption, lawlessness, imprisonment of political opponents, systematic torture within the prison system, no freedom of speech, a totalitarian, aggressive dictator who wants to stay in power for life, violence against protesters, global isolation, a desire to restore a fallen empire, military aggression against other sovereign countries, and last but not least, lies, never-ending lies and conspiracies that are spread non-stop throughout all available channels. I believe the best way to fight against these lies is to go to those places where the Kremlin's crimes have happened and to talk to the people who have witnessed those crimes with their own eyes. On this trip, I was able to talk to various Ukrainians who lived in the Kiev region, in towns like Bucha, Irpin, Borodianka, and Moshun. In Bucha, the locals have shown me how they have been managing to hide together with over 400 people inside the basement of a local primary school throughout the entire Russian occupation. In the small town of Moshun, I have met a kind woman who has shown me what's still left from her house. She also introduced me to her heroic neighbor. He has been working as a firefighter and declined the offer to get evacuated while almost everyone else has left. Instead, he tried to save as many houses as possible while Russian soldiers were shooting highly inflammable phosphor bombs on him and his hometown, which consisted exclusively of civilian houses and did not have a single military target. Even in those kind of places in which the locals lost nearly everything they owned, they were still insisting on offering me some food or drink despite the fact that I was not able to talk Ukrainian but only Russian with them. What you are about to see is a short preview that will show you some fragments of conversations I had with Ukrainians. Afterwards, you will join me on a short drive through Borodianka, in which I tried to record a larger area of destruction. These kind of shots are supposed to make it harder for Russian trolls to claim that these destroyed buildings are simply staged or fake. Last but not least, I wanted to mention that I'm not a professional cameraman or editor. I do the entire production on my own, therefore I need to ask for your understanding when some of the shots do not seem too professional. Thank you. Here we go.
Новый дом, который мы построили.
Что
снаряды,
это?
Зажигательные снаряды.
Ага.
Не просто
Значит,
снаряд, а именно зажигатель. Вообще, в
я
этом
пытаюсь
районе
понимать, почему они стреляли вон именно
они стреляли куда попало. Я так понимаю, им было все равно, куда стрелять.
Автоматичної системи град.
Град, вы сказали?
Так.
Ага, ну это, град это артиллерия, да?
Так.
Ага. Выглядит как более-менее новый дом такой.
Це новий дом.
10 лет дома. Мы только построили.
А здесь еще одна комната была? А, вот это детская комната была, да?
Нашел свой планшет. Дальше. Смотри, по геолокации. Нахожу. Аккаунт не мой, Измаил 95.
Ужас. Это где?
Это 30 километров от Грозного.
От Грозного? А, это в Чечне?
Да.
Ну, это что? Это вояки, это просто пришли издеваться над народом.
Не люди, да.
И мы, когда у нас обыскивали, ехали вот эти их бронетранспортеры, все обвешаны рулонами, коврами и стиральными машинками. Прямо на бронетранспортерами, веревками попривязаны. Это
да.
армия. Это, ну, нам же нельзя было заснять. Это все надо было заснять.
Да, вот так выглядит детская комната.
Мгм.
А потом, когда все горело, здесь, наверное, были фосфорные бомбы, потому что стекло, видите, поплавленное стекло. Как оно, при какой температуре может плавиться стекло?
А, вот вижу, да. Привет.
Вот этот мужчина тушил у нас в Мощуне пожар.
Да, привет.
Человек хочет узнать,
Скажи, если бы 23 числа мы вышли на улицу и русскому человеку было плохо, 23 числа, мы бы его накормили, напоили, скажи.
Ну а чего бы нет?
А чего бы нет?
У нас тут
Жили.
половина
Если-
села русскоязычного.
Я, к сожалению, не могу по-украински говорить. Ну, даже сейчас
я-
люди со мной нормально обращаются, хотя вот это все случилось. Русские думают, что вы здесь издеваетесь на людям, которые только по-русски говорят.
Смотрите, он с Кривого
Я с
Рога.
Кривого Рога родом.
Он разговаривает на русском языке. Саша, у нас были конфликты
Нет,
насчет
конечно,
языка?
никогда. Русский. Это ничего не мешает.
У нас половина города Киева разговаривает на русском языке.
Я знаю просто, я слушаю разговоры и так далее. Я знаю, что эти матери, они думают, что что сын освобождает и помогает.
От чего?
Это,
От чего?
Вот я пытаюсь понять, я не могу.
Они
Покажите этого
какие-то...
гребаного освободителя.
Скажите,
Да.
пожалуйста, а что за дикие люди?
У меня и для него нету слов лишних. Все, что было у людей нажито годами, освободители.
Можете, вы будете свой документальный фильм, скажите, что мы станем на ноги, мы через 5-7 лет станем на ноги и будем крепко стоять на ногах. Они как ничтожество были, так ничтожествами и сдохнут. Их теперь ненавидят все. Вот этот ребенок может их любить. За что?
Никогда.
Никогда он смотрел.
И
За
дети
что?
этого ребенка и так далее.
дети. И я буду воспитывать своих внуков.
Мне хотелось, чтобы мой сын это все видел, вот эти вертолеты, когда в первый день войны
Він у
здесь
мене
летали.
вертольотом боїться.
Скажете, что актеры сказали, 23-го чая ему гостили, а сейчас бы я его расстреляла бы на месте, и рука не дрогнула бы. И так же каждый здесь. Каждый.
И здесь люди были в это время, когда здесь упало все, да?
Мы доставали, да.
Не расстраивайтесь, все будет хорошо.
Синок, уже люди на трепеті, уже люди плачуть, кожного дітки є, хочемо, щоб дітки жили. Та солдатики ті, і вони ж нас охороняють, Господи. Якби не солдатики, та щоб не той мір заграничний, він же нам допомагає. Наше що ж наступило на нас, а ми ж не готові їх. Господи, Господи.
Okay, so we are in case I didn't mention it, we are in a small town called Borodianka, and I just wanted to drive through one of the streets here and show you how a town looks like under a couple of weeks of Russian occupation. Please note, very important, not a single military object in this town, not a single one. And there was no local soldiers here during the occupation. There was no fighting going on the ground during the occupation. All this destruction comes exclusively or almost exclusively from Russian airstrikes. So let's go. So here we start. Here it continues. This was one entire building. The middle of it just broke down. Here you can see through that building. Here they try to build a new one. Another one, this was an entire building here. Now it looks like this. Just a giant gap in between. People were hiding in the basement while that happens. I already talked to locals here. Let's continue. I have to watch out because sometimes there are holes here in the ground, still from the aviation strikes. So filming, driving and watching out for potholes. Another building with a giant gap in between. There was a fire in that one here. The windows are either already restored or broken. There are barely any windows that survived this mess. that was a pharmacy. Oh, fuck. Sorry for that. Don't know how those things are called, but they're meant to slow people down so that they don't drive too fast. Here another one. A fire in that one. That was one entire building. I had a long interview here just a couple of minutes ago. People were hiding in the basement here in between. And Russian airstrikes just took this one out completely. That was the price Ukrainians had to pay, so this flag can hang there and not the Russian one. This was the price they had to pay for their liberty, to be free of the enslaving Russian regime. Let's see if we can see that building here from the back, but I'm not sure I can drive through here. Oh yeah, doesn't look like it. Let's see here. So this is how it looks from the back. All personal belongings gone for everyone who survived this hell. Today I talked with an elderly lady. She was quite old and she lived through the German occupation and then through the Russian occupation, and she said you can't even compare it. The Russians behave so much worse than the Germans, so much worse. She said the Germans, they did not bomb residential areas where she lived, and they did not steal things. They gave the children's food. Here the Russians stole food from the children's. I don't want to say that anything the Germans did was good. It's horrible. It's really bad. I just want to show you the extent of this war crimes that have been happening here. The rape of children and women, and the insane destructions of non-military objects. The incredible destruction of residential buildings. This is something that this elderly lady has not seen under German occupation. Yeah, she said you can't even compare it. The Russians behaved so much worse than the Nazis. And the irony of it is that the Russians came here in order to denazify Ukraine. And I have first-hand witnesses who say that those Russians, while they denazify, behave worse than the original Nazis itself. And this is just one sign of it. I have countless witnesses who have seen war crimes, just random executions on the streets, just for nothing, just for... There was one person who was getting medicine for his sick mother on a bicycle. He was just shot. His only fault was that he was riding the bicycle. It was a person, I think 50, 55. Yeah, so this is how a town looks like after the Russian attempt to liberate it from Nazis.
Within the next few weeks, I will translate, edit and upload more conversations with locals from Ukraine. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, upvoting and donating crypto to support the creation of historically important content. Thank you.